What was the SuperNet project? How did it come about?
So the SuperNet project was a very foresightful, thoughtful investment by the government of Alberta at the beginning of the 21st century. Knew that internet was going to be a key piece of connectivity, and they planned to build transport infrastructure, so kind of like highways of internet to 429 communities across Alberta. But what that SuperNet project was never intended to do was to build the last mile infrastructure, connections to homes or businesses.
So who were they expecting to do that last mile?
Initially, they thought the private sector would come to the table. Small and medium-sized internet service providers would use the SuperNet. Generally, small ISPs found the connection costs were too high, and in cases for mid to large-sized communities, of course, private companies came in, the Shaws and Teluses of the world, and built their own infrastructure.
Yeah. So what went wrong overall in this?
Well, the Auditor General studied SuperNet in 2018 and was very clear that it was contract management was a primary oversight. So Axia, which was the company that was operating the SuperNet, started to operate its own internet service provider to try and connect rural communities. That was seen by some as a conflict. And of course, in 2018, the contract switched now to Bell, and we continue to use SuperNet to connect schools, libraries, and hospitals across the province, but it hasn't been that kind of great delivery in terms of connecting smaller homes and businesses, communities, as we thought it might have a long time ago. In 2018, the Auditor General said we've invested over $1 billion public dollars on the SuperNet. We continue to spend millions each year to pay for the libraries, hospitals, and schools connections, and yet it's not clear that we're getting all of the benefits from that networks. And we are looking at some of the funds that should exist, and we have yet to find evidence of how much money is in those funds and if Bell has been paying into those. So we're continuing to dig and waiting for more evidence, but still some concerns over how that SuperNet contract is being managed and played out.
And beyond that, there's still a lot of gaps, especially in rural Alberta, for the internet, right?
We have about 40% of rural homes with access to high-speed internet, and that puts us last. In Quebec, they're close to 85% of homes, rural homes, having high-speed internet.
Now, Starlink seemed to be a promise for everybody to be able to get online. Is that a solution that makes sense for Alberta?
Starlink certainly is a part of the puzzle. Now, one of the challenges is that if you look at Canadian communications policy, right in the legislation, it says one of the goals is Canadian ownership by Canadian providers. And Starlink, of course, doesn't meet that goal. The other challenge, of course, is that Starlink connects individual homes or businesses. It doesn't provide community infrastructure that could be used more broadly, as where if you build fiber optic cable, the potential for connecting everyone is at least there.